Hello and welcome to my unboxing and review of the second shipment of Warhammer Imperium. We'll be getting issues, issue 3, 4, 5 and 6. Obviously number 5 people really want to have a look at. But I'm going to crack on with the first one, number 3. So, issue number 3 we of course get the magazine. So this is Discover the Assault Intercessors. Paint your Ultramarines. Learn to fight in close combat. Brilliant. Of course, you get the 3 Assault Intercessors, I should say, not Assault Marines anymore. Assault Intercessor sprue. Now, I thought this is just going to be one of the sprues that you do get in, say, the Elite Edition, the Recruit Edition, and Command Edition, but it's not. It's the 3 that you get inside the Start to Paint box from GW. Comes with some really small paints, a paintbrush, some snips, and these colours. I don't know if you can actually focus. Come on, focus. You can just see on the shoulder pad just there. It's got not embossed, outbossed, I don't know what it's called. The Ultramarine symbol on the left shoulder plate on the sergeant. See that just there? So, and also it's got the, well, I assume, if I can get it to focus. Never mind. The symbol on here. I always thought that Assault Intercessors were close combat. They were troops. Why is it not focusing? Never mind. It's basically an X with arrows on each of the end of the X's, which means it's a fast attack choice. So I don't quite understand that. But yeah, there's 3 Assault Intercessors right here. One's holding a grenade. Difference. And yeah, they've all got the Ultramarine symbol on their shoulder pads. So if you don't play Ultramarines, then I'm sorry, really. You're a little bit stuck, really. You're going to have to maybe try to use a hobby knife to scrape away the parts on the shoulder pads there. I've got a, what's it called, a Dremel, the really fast spinning disc to try and wear that away. It worked on my Death Company Marines. We're totally fine with that. So, there we go. That's the sprue there. And we also get Macragge Blue. Let me get a bit like Macragge Blue paints. Yeah, I got like a bunch of these when I did Warhammer Conquest, and the 3 32mm bases for the Assault Intercessors, and they got holes in them to put their, the feet dowels inside. But that is the contents of the models that we're getting. Let's have a look inside the actual issue itself. So. First page here. Let's have a look at in this issue. I like looking at this from a fellow called Ian. Space Marines reinforcements arrive in from the chainsaw wheel in the form of chainsaw wielding Assault Intercessors. You'll learn more about the threats of the Imperium facing the 41st millennium. Take a look inside NECRON tomb worlds and read a story of Space Marine Sergeant as he battles NECRON foes. When you finish reading, you'll be ready to build and paint your new Space Marines, and then take them to battle in this issue's playthrough. Happy hobbying. Thank you, Ian. So we're looking at the Assault Intercessors Frontline Shock Troops. It just basically looks up a few things. So, frag grenade. All intercessors carry these explosive weapons, which they hurl into the mass ranks of the enemies. Heavy bolt pistol. Heavy bolt pistols provide strong firepower, and are light enough to fire whilst on the run for engaged combat. Oh, squad casualties. A squad of Assault Intercessors usually numbers 5 or 10 warriors. This squad has suffered casualties, including the loss of their sergeants. Now only 3 remain. To give you a bit of a background story as to why there's 3, not 5 in the squad. I wonder if we get the other 5 later on in life. I assume he would do. So here, shoulder markings. Most Space Marines bear markings upon their armoured shoulder pads that incite the chapter they belong to and the role they perform on the battlefield. All Ultramarines display their familiar chapter icon upon their left shoulder pad. This shows their allegiance to the chapter and helps them to identify each other in battle. Actually, let me just change my little to actually come up on the screen a bit more. There we go. White one. The cross-shaped icon on the right shoulder pad shows that the Assault Intercessors are close support units. Close support squads include most of the chapter's hard-hitting fighters. Because I always thought that, back in the original fluff, that if they were a troop, like this fella is, got like one singular arrow. But these apparently got a cross on the shoulder. I always thought they were fast attack, even though in the game they're like troop choices. How odd indeed. And then we go on to, like, you know, making your squad a bit more flavourful with, you know, the names, the relics that you can give them to, what injuries they've had, record of battle, oath of allegiance. It's still quite cool to have that, but I'm not going to name every single Necron warrior like we had in the in one of the previous issues. The Dark Imperium. I've always liked this artwork. This came inside the Indomitus box. You've got the chaplain there, and you've got the Blade Guard veterans. I assume it's the coffin of the dead captain, so yeah, it's a bit grim dark, isn't it? Dark Imperium. In the last days of the 41st millennium, mankind finds itself consumed by endless wars. It's an age in which history, reason, and hope have been grounded away by conflict and suffering. Enlightenment has been replaced by superstition, zealous faith, and desperate prayer. Humanity stands on the brink of extinction. Okay, so setting up, you know, a bit more like, you know, oh, how grim the world is, whereas compared to the other issues, there's a bit more, you know, oh, these are some models you can build and play with your friends. Now it's like death, destruction, chaos, famine, no love whatsoever. You're gonna die. There we go. Domain of Mankind. It looks pretty buggered, to be honest, right now in this issue. So it shows the Eye of Terror and the Maelstrom rift that separates the Imperium in half. Poor Bal right in the centre of it there. West Terror, Terror and Mars right there. So Pariah Nexus as well, Macragge, where the Ultramarines are from. Yeah, this goes over a bit more about the fluff about, you know, Domain of Mankind. Tomb World, another piece of artwork I really, really like. Love the animators. They're such cool looking models. Not too fan on the text though. Seems a bit, you know, cartoony a little bit. It brings out from, you know, oh, it's different from the darkness of, you know, the Dark Imperiums or blocky text, like, you know, oh, Tomb Worlds, they're fun, aren't they? So it goes into a bit more of the fluff and bit all about, you know, actual Tomb World itself. When the Tomb World awakens, the Necrons march forth to reclaim their territory, slaying all who oppose them. The Great Sleep. A bit more lore about the Necrons. The Great Sleep, the effects of entropy, canoptic caretakers. I do like canoptic units. I'm looking forward to getting the race. Let's say here, each tomb world is protected by canoptic constructs. These robot servants are designed to look after and maintain the tomb complexes and the Necrons within, but they also slaughter any unfortunate intruders. They range in size from canoptic scarabs to towering canoptic doomstalkers, but they are all lethal. Should a tomb world begin to awaken, it is canoptic caretakers who are responsible for restoring the Necron legions to life, so that they may rise up and reclaim their world. Cool. So the result on, if you want to pronounce that, go ahead. Darklethir? Something like that. It goes on to a bit of a conflict. I think it's setting up the narrative for the little battles going to happen with your new figures. Yeah, I think I'll have it. There we go. How to build. Very simple, straightforward. There's only 6 pieces inside each Assault Intercessor. Yep, push fit together. Don't really need glue, but I do recommend that you actually use glue for these sort of things. Simple, straightforward, really. Goes on to about the other intercessors. So there's 3 of them you get in here. Using a palette. Oh, it actually goes on to teach how to use a palette. Keep it clean. The GW paint pots are notorious for not being clean. Warning: if paint builds up around the rim of the lid, clean the paint pot. There's a video I found on YouTube recently. I might put it in the description to tell you how to clean the inside of the paint pots. It is so quick and it's so easy, and it saved a lot of paints from drying out for me. Spread the paint and paint on brush. Teach you about the brush's ferrule and the body of the actual brush as well, and where to put the paint. Speaking of paintbrush, the paintbrush I had in the last issue is not here. It's already curled. So yeah, it's not a great paintbrush to start off with. I've used it for a bunch of models already, and it's started to have synthetic paintbrushes do tend to get a little bit of a curve on the tip when you want it to be pointy. So that's a little bit annoying, but it's only starter brush. You get it for free. So, and it goes on to actually painting it with the Assault Intercessors. First coat, second coat, third coat. So yeah, on this version of the instructions, they're not telling you to spray with a spray paint. It's just put the base coat down of the actual Macragge blue for your base coat. I'm not a fan of that. Spray first with a light colour and then go over with a base colour. That's what I do. There we go, bare plastic. So keep telling you now to keep the shield, the gun, the halo, the holster, the chainswords and the backpacks all separate. So you put them with a different colour later on. Let me just change the lighting slightly. There we go. Hold them back. Again, setting up the narrative for this mission that you get inside the book. There we go. Rules and setup. Yeah, just if you guys want to play that, you can go ahead. You use your NECRON warriors and your new assault intercessors. Of course, you need dice and a rule as well. But setting up a step-by-step guide on how the game should really be played is good to teach you in close combat. I hope it's going to be quite useful. No, God knows I could use a few tips when it comes to close combat, because I am not a close combat person. I am a shooty person. And then basically, you know, at the end of the game, who wins and who should win. Freaking light. There we go. No glare anymore. But the subscribe to Warhammer Imperium, and it shows off the next 2 issues. In the back, it actually shows off. So issue number 4, we'll get the Scorpic Destroyers, lead Belcher paint, and full-size battle mats. Define full size. Is it 6x4 or the other one? And then issue number 5, PRIMARIS Captain, paint your captain, heroic combats. So that was issue number 3. Let's move on to issue number 4. Here we are with issue number 4. This has got the Scorpic Destroyers. Oh, Scorpic Destroyers Attack. Painting with lead Belcher. Your biggest battle yet. Ooh, anticipation's killing me. So, we will go over the contents first. Of course, we've got the magazine just there. And we've got the actual sprue. So this on it has the Scorpic Destroyers. And also has the little plasma sights here as well. I already have 6 of these fellas. I can't quite remember if I could run them in a squad of 9 in 9th edition. But they're really cool looking models. A bit fiddly to build, I find. I've always had trouble with them trying to slot in the neck and the arm underneath the torso. They're notorious for being a little bit annoying to build. I'm not a fan of building them, but they do look cool at the end of it. I do intend on kit bashing these fellas to make them look a little bit different. So there is that. Stop rolling over. We also got lead Belcher paint. It's a staple. Every single miniature you paint will need this for, you know, bolter casings, pipes, swords, especially in my Necrons, the way I paint them. Be all covered in lead Belcher. But yeah, good paint to start off with. I've moved on to what was again? Paracle paints from Monument Hobbies. I think they're a bit better than GW paints. Better coverage, but yeah, he will use this on every single miniature inside this collection that comes forward. Get rid of that to one side. And we've got the bases as well. I think these are 60mm bases or 50mm bases for the Scorpic Destroyers, and there's 2 holes in each. Wait a minute, there we go, 2 holes in each, and one little one for the little plasma sight, a 25mm base for the little helper that comes along with them. And yeah, they said a full-size battle mats, and it's actually kind of thick. So I'm going to attempt to try and open this right now. Okay. Alright, well, it's not full-size. It's about the size... Oh, I think... Oh, God, I definitely can't get into view. But it's got, like, some Imperium... I don't know, like landing grounds there, maybe? I don't know, loading bays or something. And some craters as well. It's just flexi cardboard, really. As I was saying, this is more akin to the size of Kill Team. I'm pretty sure this is a Kill Team size board. So we've got some paper containers there as well. We've got some, just down here is where you can just, we've got some, what was it, canisters there, some, yeah. And some bit of Necron corruption going on over here as well. If I move it this way a bit, you can see some, ooh, green glowy stuff. Could indicate evil things happening on this world. But yeah, that's more akin to the size of Kill Team, I believe. Right, let's look at the contents. So, what's Ian got to say about this issue? Murderous battle-limbed Scorpic Destroyers arrive upon the battlefield. You will learn the secrets behind the creation of Space Marines and explore the terrifying dimension known as the Warp. Then, when you are done reading, you will build, paint and do battle with your Scorpic Destroyers. Get ready for your biggest game yet. Happy hobbying, Ian. Thanks, Ian. So, Scorpic Destroyers, deranged Necron killers. I might need the light again. It helps ever so slightly, but there's a bit of glare. I will eventually get that sorted. So let's have a look see now. What does it say about the Scorpec destroyers? Many Necrons have descended into madness, but few are utterly insane as Scorpec destroyers. They have abandoned all ambition and hope, and instead they seek only to destroy organic life. They have had their bodies modified by cryptech engineers to make them lethally efficient killing machines. Necron nobles are often use Scorpec destroyers as shock troops, but they do not trust them. They fear the destroyer's madness to be infectious, and some even worry about who the destroyers will turn upon when all organic foes are slain. Ooh, okay, right, there's a little bit of infighting going on there. What's it say here? Hyperphase threshers, sorry. These blades vibrate across dimensional states, allowing them to cut through armor without resistance. Oh, so they phase in and out of existence, really. That's kind of cool. Scorpec limbs. Scorpec destroyers can move very swiftly on their tripod limbs. Ooh, okay. Scorpec destroyers are manic in battle, driven by desire to kill. So, nilthistic generation? I don't bloody know. Sentient energy robotics. A plasma science injects corrupted engrams with its monomolecular probiotics. I don't know where they get these names. I'm pretty sure they get a thesaurus or a dictionary and just throw it at someone. There you go, makes a bunch of words up. So the canoptic plasmacyte. Canoptic plasmacytes remove corrupted programming from their fellow Necrons and eject it into the minds of the destroyers. This enhances the destroyers' insanity and drives their mindlessness slaughter to new heights at the risk of utterly destroying them. Yeah, the rules can basically, fellas near next to a Scorpec destroyer, roll a dice. On a 1, it kills one, and on a 2 above, it gives a +1 attack and a +1 strength as well. Can be useful, but then can, of course, kill one of your dudes. And then, so this one you can actually name them as well. Over here, the D6 chart as well. What's that here? Flesh Shedders, Bone Collectors, Death Heralds, Hardened Exoskeletons, Enhanced Servo Motors. Gifts. Oh, there's a gift chart. We've got name chart. So that's literally the name. Flesh Shedders, Bone Collectors, Death Heralds. I'm not too keen on those names. Creation of a Space Marine. Yeah, a lot of... I think there'll be a lot of things to chew through here. If you're a veteran of 40k, you know how Space Marines basically be made. You know, basically, when I give you an extra heart, I'm going to give you an extra lung, and then go out there and do some combat. I'll give you a bunch of stims to make you all big and buffy. Okay, good. Right. More to find aspirants. Each chapter is finding out different ways of finding an aspirant to become a new Space Marine. The Primarchs, Apothecaries, and the Gene Seed as well. We've got a Primarchs Apothecary standing over a Crimson Fist, unfortunately, and he's literally ripping out the Gene Seed off his chest. Okay, that's PG-13 right there. The Warp. I'm not going to go read into these. I'm just going to look at the models really and look at each issue with regards to what you get inside the issue. Otherwise we'll be here forever and a day. I've got 4 issues to get through. So the Warp, Dimensions and Demons. Basically talking about warp travel for the Imperium. There's no hyperspeed in 40k. It's only traveling through a demonic phase of existence. I put the Geller fields up so no demons invade your ship to get somewhere. The Astronomicon, so they travel through the Astronomicon by using a navigator, a fellow with a third eye, to see a path through the warp that's clear for the ship to go through. Again, there's more fluff in about it here. Denizens of the Warp, talking about the demons that go inside the warp and travel around there and can invade your ship by phasing into existence. Blackstone as well. So that goes on to about, I think, the nulling effect of the Blackstone Fortress, or Blackstone in general, that the Necrons used to use to keep the Chaos baddies away. How to build Scorpec destroyers. I highly recommend you read this again and again and again, because it can be quite fiddly. At the 2 squads of 3 that I've done, I've always had trouble trying to get them together, make sure things don't glue together, and oh god, yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare. I do admit, this is like, yeah, you'll need to read this and do it carefully. 50mm base, not 60, 50mm. There's a lot in instructions here for it. This is basically the standard Scorpec destroyer. Oh, there's something here. NECRON. This is quite new, actually. It actually shows you. This is the problem I've had with this model. Slide rod in between the neck and collar, move the arm to align with the peg and the hole, push the peg into the hole in the skull. Alright, so that's actually a bit of an improvement. I can't remember that was actually in the actual rule book, or the instruction book for the Skullcraft Destroyers, but I think that's been added in for making things a little bit, a little bit easier. Because yeah, God knows, that's actually quite helpful to have. And the little plasma sight is only 3 pieces onto the little tiny thin little base. 28mm. 28mm. Oh, that's odd. I didn't know that. I thought it was 25mm. How to paint Skullcraft Destroyers and Canoptic Plasma Sight. So yeah, again, it's asking you to do a 3 coats of Runelord brass. I don't recommend doing that. Runelord brass can be a very translucent, very clear paint. So I recommend that you base it black first, or base it with lead belcher first. The new paint we just got in the previous issue. Was it this issue? I forget now. In this issue, yeah. So you, if you want to do the colour scheme with Runelord brass, use lead belcher first, I say, or even black if you get yourself a black, the abandoned black paint, and then do the base layer. Yeah, so sorry, it tells you how to paint with lead belcher. Basically, put lead belcher on model. There we go. Not that hard, really. So telling you to put lead belcher over the blades of the Skullcraft Destroyers and on the wires, looks like the guts are hanging out. And we go back onto the Necron Warriors and the Royal Warden. I basically paint the guns as well. Simple, straightforward. And then onto the Ultramarines, and then tells you where to put silver on the weapons and on the shield as well, and on the pipes leading out of the mask or the helmet of the Ultramarines there, and any little relics and all that as well there, and the grenade. Simple. So, Destroyers Awaken, biggest battle yet apparently, but yeah, fair enough compared to the last previous issues where they'll all be very, very small. This one's got a definitely different size to it, so shows you setting up the Destroyers right in the centre, and the Assault Intercessors, and the Lieutenant as well, because maintenance intercessor, and then Lieutenant at the top here, the little plasma sight over here. Basically goes you into telling you a basic game how these units actually work in the game as well. Data sheets all here as well for the units that you actually need as well. Yeah, kind of simple, kind of straightforward really. Step-by-step guide on how the game should be played. Right, so that's the end of this issue. The next 2 issues will be PRIMARIS Captain, the unique miniature, and then the aggressors with the bad and black. So let me move on to issue 5. So here we are with issue 5, magazine, the miniature, the base, and something else that was added in there. I'll look at that in a second. The first thing people want to look at definitely is the exclusive miniature that you get with Warhammer Imperium. This very early on into the collection as well. And the lighting is okay, you can just barely see. There we go, that's actually okay. So, singular sprue, PRIMARIS Space Marine Captain. Mine's actually a little bit bent. I just hope that the moulds aren't bent. The sprue will be fine, but I hope the mould isn't. So with this fella now, I'm looking for anything in particular. No, I was concerned that this fella would have the Ultramarine symbol somewhere, but he hasn't. Because the promo image, he will have the Ultramarine symbol on his left knee. We look at the image on here just now, he has the Ultramarine symbol. I don't know if that was embossed or engraved there. But no, it's clear. So, you can paint this fella whichever chapter that you want. It doesn't have to be Ultramarines, which is very, very good. So, I'm actually starting a new chapter right now of stuff from Warhammer Imperium to use with every single chapter. My own colour scheme. I think I'll actually do him in my own colour scheme now. Unless people want him inside. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. There we go. So we got a sword, a Neo-Volkite pistol, or plasma pistol. That looks like a plasma pistol to me. And a huge cloak as well. His pose, I actually quite like his pose. People have been saying, it's a bit naff, but no, a bit of a heroic pose, you know what I mean? But there we go. And this fella, I think he's on a 40mm base. Like most PRIMARIS characters, 40mm base. But there we go, put him to one side. Let's have a look at this other thing that got given. Dynastic heraldry from the NECRONs themselves. A noble Necron lord leads the dynasty relentless legions to conquer their foes. Oh, what's all this? Oh! Ooh, look at that. Imagine that now. You're a kid and you open this up, you see all this amazing cool shit right here. That's fantastic. And get rid of that. There we go. No glare on it anymore. The Necrons at War goes into a bit more the issues that you can expect. Well, models you can expect inside this range. But that is a cool layout of the miniatures there. So we've got Scarabs at the front here. We've got, what are they called again? Immortals, but not sword and board. In the back of the Scarab, Skullback Destroyers, Necron Warriors, Monolith, the Sonic King himself, and we've also got the Void Dragon, Catan Shard. Fantastic model. I love building it, I love painting it. Necrons at War, so yeah, it goes into a bit more about what you can get in the whole Necron range. Unfortunately, most of the big stuff here will not be inside Warhammer Imperium. It'd be amazing if he was, and even a Monolith. Sonic King, imagine that in this. Everyone would be going for it then. What's on the back? A bit of artwork there, talking about the Pharaon's legions, and onto the hierarchy, of the Necrons. So Royal Cohort right in the centre, and it goes off to the Pharaons, the Praetorians, Armory, Outcasts, Legions, Canoptic, and Catan Shards, and it lists what units from the range of miniatures is inside what branch. Outcasts, Destroyers, and Flayed Ones. So, like Destroyers in previous issues, they're classed as Outcasts because they're not trusted and they're kind of spooky. Flip this over. There we go. Move that to one side. So, on to the issue himself. What's Ian got to say? Let's try and see. What's the light like? Oh, that's okay. Right, this issue adds a new hero to the ranks of your Space Marines army, the Primaris Captain. You'll learn all about these bold commanders before building and painting your new model. Then, when the Primaris Captain is ready for battle, you'll plunge straight into the exciting playthrough, where you'll learn to use his powerful weapons. Happy hobbying, Ian. Thanks, Ian. Primaris Captain. A Primaris Captain is responsible for commanding an entire company of battle brothers with centuries of battlefield experience. Each captain is a strategic genius. And this is a quote from Robert Gilliman, Robert Gilliman. A captain leads them from the front. By example, shall his men know what it is to be of the depths of Astartes, and from his teachings shall they learn the trade of battle in the Emperor's name. Robert Gilliman. So the captain appears to have, let's have a look, see, mastercrafted power sword. So I assume this would be 2 damage power sword, like any other mastercrafted power sword. Right, it goes on to hear a bit more about some relics. We've got there's 3 relics here that is just attached onto the body. I'm going to go into them a little bit more of that. There's not something that we usually see. So the Imperial Laurel. These are awarded for an act of great valour that led to a victory for the chapter. They're like an iron halo basically on the top of the head. Oh, that's kind of cool. Service studs. Not a lot of people know about these. These are quite... Each stud represents either 10, 50 or 100 years of service to the chapter. So they literally, okay, it's your 50th birthday, get a nail on your forehead. So that's a bit mad. So what says to me now, if he's got 3, actually he's got 2 on his head. So 10, 50 or 100 years. I don't know if it goes 10, 10, 10, 10. You'll get 5 10s, get 1 50, and then get some more 10s. I'd rather just have 1. Actually, I wouldn't have any in my head, to be honest with you. Iron Skull. This is awarded for exceptional leadership while in the heat of combat. That is pointing to his right shoulder pad. Okay, just to let you know. The Crux Terminatus. These are borne by veterans of the chapter's first company and officers, like the Crux Terminatus on Terminators I have, but this is a much smaller version of it. Marksman Honours. These are gold-plated shell casings are awarded for accurate shooting. Oh, okay then. So we've got 1 just down here. Does not explain about the bones in the little reliquary though. I would like them to explain a bit about that. Cape. A Space Marine captain's ornate armour and flowing cape mark him out as a senior commander. And plasma pistol. These ranged weapons fire blasts of superheated energy capable of burning through reinforced armour. There we go. yeah, so that's actually kind of cool. Goes into a little bit more about some relics and a little bit characteristics of Space Marines. And what we got here, so we got war gear details. You can name, so it's not a named character, you can actually name as much as you want. Let's have a look at name charts. You just roll on the D6 chart, and I can't pronounce any of these names. My Latin is not up to par. Tools of war. Talk about the armory of the Space Marines. Look about what the kind of weaponry and yeah, we've got something here. It's just really faded out. It looks like a heavy bolt rifle. There's no greater ally to a Space Marine than the humble bolt rifle. Treat your weapon as you would a brother. Recruits, for it shall be your salvation. Okay, there we go. So basically, this is my rifle, this is my gun. This is for firing, this is for fun. Melee weapons. Astartes Chainsword, Power Axe, Thunderhammer, and Power Fist, and Force weapons. So it goes on to a little bit more about the melee weapons of the this is Astartes. For the War of Ramus, I think it's pronounced Megnara. These names, I have no idea where they get these names from. So it looks into a bit more about the city that the planet that you're actually fighting over. A little bit of information about planetary features. Homogeneous activity, long-range scan, detect unknown energy sources in this vicinity. So yeah, just a little bit, like a bit of a narrative fluff about the little battles that you're fighting with this issue. There's more over here. Important locations of Megnara, spaceport. We've got a mine, an Innistratum complex, and NECRON repair facility. Ooh, is that just out on the surface? Heart of the Storm. I think this goes on to about some chaos stuff going on. Crimson Slaughter have emerged to strike at the Imperium. Oh dear, the Crimson Slaughter, I believe they were loyalists until they turned to chaos because they want to be massive edgelords. A bit more fluff about the incursion from the Crimson Slaughter. How to build Primaris Captain. This is mold line remover, telling you how to actually remove the mold lines. There's a little dotted line going around the back leg of the Captain here. And then shows you how to use the mold line to get it off the mold lines. Well, there we go. Looks quite straightforward, to be honest. He is definitely not push fit. You will need glue for this fella. Definitely will need glue. Quite a few parts. In total, I think there's 12 parts for it. That includes the Crux Terminatus and the little gummits you have to put on him as well. Does he have a helmet? He does not come with a helmet. He's got a bare head. I'm assuming that you've got a spare helmet. You can pop that on if you don't like painting faces. Like I don't like painting faces, so yeah. 40mm base, that was correct. How to paint. So 3 coats of Macragge blue. No thank you. And then we got the silver for all the weapons as well. Looks very basic and plain at the end of it. You will definitely want to get some more paints later on. Rallying the troops. Bit more fluff about the basically setting up the narrative of the little battle that's about to happen. Here we go. So we got 3 Scorpec destroyers versus the Captain on the original small battlefield. It wasn't the new the big new one that you got in the previous issue. So we got on the stats here about the Captain over here, and also the Scorpec destroyers. It's not exactly like the 40k data sheets you get inside the codices, because it says here mastercrafted power weapon, power sword, melee type, AP3. Does it say the damage? Plasma pistol, again, not the damage. It says AP3. Doesn't say any strength or whatever. But I assume inside here it will go over it. I assume it will do. I'm not going to look into these because I know how to play the game really. But if you're new to the game and you want to help teach yourself, I think these look quite straightforward. Don't look too bad at all. There we go, end of the issue. So, Warhammer Imperium, what's all this now? Oh, it goes on to about guidance, get help or advice from a friendly Warhammer store staff, Warhammer community, and exploration. Bit more of a promo about everything. Back of the issue here. So, in the next issue, which we move on to second, we get 3 aggressors, a Ban Black, and issue 7, which will be in the start of next month, it will come with 3 new paints. Base coat Administratum Grey, base paint Acorox White, and base Retributor Armour. This will really help your figures pop the next issue. But there we go. So that is issue 5, and that is the exclusive model that you do get with Warhammer Imperium. I'm looking forward to building him. I might do him in my own chapter colours because he hasn't got a captain yet. But there we go. Move on to issue 6 now. Right, here we are, issue 6. Obviously, we get the magazine for this issue. We get the PRIMARIS aggressors. These are the easy to build kits that originally came in the Dark Imperium box, I believe. So we can only build the Flamestorm versions, not the fellas with the Storm Bolters and the pods on the back. So these fellas are just built with the Flamers. So yeah, I've got a bunch of these fellas from Warhammer Imperium. Good kit and a massive saving as well. Like the Scorpet Destroyer box, a massive saving. Yeah, very simple, straightforward. You will need glue with these fellas. These aren't push fits. To the side, we also get a bad and black. Get a bit of like going. There we go. A bad and black paint. Yeah, you will need this for every single miniature. I believe this is one of the staple paints that you need to get. I think I've gone through like 4 pots of these in my life, 4 or 5 pots. Yeah, it's okay paint. The coverage can be a little bit crap. I use a wet palette, and this doesn't work well on the wet palette. Maybe it just got a bad batch, but it's kind of thick, kind of gloopy paint. I moved on to Monument Hobbies now. I use their black paint, which is better, but there's a good starting off paint. This is. And 3 bases for the aggressors with 2 holes inside each of them for, I assume, the feet or some little terrain that you do get with them. I think you get terrain with them. Yeah, you get some rubble. Just underneath it, you get like half a bolt gun. You get some cable, looks like a dead server skull, and a piece of like a building just there to go into one of the slots. So one slot is for the peg for the hole, for the leg peg, and the hole here is for the piece of terrain that you can put on if you want to. But yeah, 4 little bases, that's done. Let's move on to the issue. So what's Ian got to say about this issue? Clad in bulky Gravis armour and equipped with fire-throwing Flamestorm gauntlets, the PRIMARIS aggressors arrive on the battlefield. In this issue, you'll learn learn all about the ancient and powerful NECRON nobility before building, painting and playing a new playthrough with your Hulking PRIMARIS aggressors. Happy hobbying. Thanks, Ian. So look on to the PRIMARIS aggressors themselves now. Gravis armour. Aggressors all wear this heavy form of Space Marine power armour. Flamestorm gauntlets. These weapons spit searing gouts of flame and crush enemies in melee combat. Yeah, they are quite disgusting in close combat. Fire support. Aggressors are tasked with providing extra firepower and destroying powerful foes. And ancient relics. Relics of the Fallen are borne by many Ultramarines. They serve to inspire Space Marines in battle. Right, so basically Derek's just died. I'm going to wear his bones to make me feel a bit better. That's a bit mad in my opinion. Move on here, and again it's the same layout with every single issue. Then we've got the squad name, and then you can give them each individual name. Squad Dema, Squad Otharius, Squad Scorpio, like what? And give them the names, and death in fire. Tally every unit aggressors have incinerated. Oh, so you do like a little tally mark here. That's kind of good. Necron nobles going into like the overlords, the lords, and I assume the Silent King at the end of it. No, actually, it just goes on to the actual lord units. We've got the Pharaons, we've got the overlords and lords, Raw Wardens, and Catacomb Command Barges, which I believe you do get inside an issue later on. How to build the aggressors. So yes, these fellas are not easy to build. Push fit, basically. You will need glue for these fellas. Quite a lot of pieces on here. There's probably the most amount of pieces that you've got so far in an issue. Let's move on here. Simple, easy build instructions. These are so much better than what they used to go before, like 8th edition. They used to be black and white, grainy. You know, the printer was running out of ink, sort of thing. These are all CAD designed. Go together very, very nicely. Simple, straightforward. Don't really need to go over these. You can get them on the internet quite easy. And how to paint PRIMARIS aggressors. So 3 base coats of Macragge blue, and then paint all the silver parts silver with lead belcher, and they're done. So far, they are done. A lot more lead belcher on these fellas. So the casings for the, I assume the fuel reserves for the flame just over here, and the pipe leading down. That will be, you know, a lot more silver on these fellas compared to any other models so far. And the back as well. Oh, using the abandoned black. So they are telling you to paint the casings of the rifles. 1 second. Casings of the rifles in black. The shield, the back of the shield in black as well. And, oh great, the soft armour they wear under the neck. So you have to put that on your PRIMARIS captain. Be careful. Moving on to the fire support now. So it looks like it's going to be the 3 PRIMARIS aggressors versus the Destroyer, Roller Warden, Destroyer and Destroyer. And this is again on the small size. No, it's on the brand new big one. Brand new big size mats that you get. Again, going over the, not dumbed down, but you know, just not the correct stats really for the PRIMARIS aggressors, Royal Warden and Destroyers. I'm going into the actual movement, going into how to shoot as well, and charging over here as well. Then, yeah, a bit more. There's a lot of it. Oh god, I just seen the the flame. If only that could happen on the tabletop, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But that's the end of that there. A bit more about guidance, what you need from the previous issue, and the back page. So, like I said in the previous one, we will be getting Mechanica Standard Grey, Koroks White and Retributed Armour in issue 7. And in issue 8, we get the Necrons Overlord. Paint your Necrons, do battle on the tabletop. I've always liked this model, and I don't own one yet. This is the Necron Overlord. I'm looking forward to getting that one, because I just like his pose. He's a bit of an old model right now. But there we go, that is it. That is all 4 issues of this month's Warhammer Imperium. Nothing in the premium today, unfortunately. I have been charged for premium stuff. So in total, with the premium added on top, this set of 4 magazines came up to £43.96. That's with premium added on top. In next month's delivery, I should be getting... delivery free, I should be getting, I think it was the binder. So stuff to put, a folder to put all these issues in. I've got 6 right now, so yeah, definitely. It's getting a bit, the pile's getting a bit big now. It's going to get even bigger and bigger as the issue continues. But thank you very much for watching. I hope that I've taught you through things. I hope so about these issues, and I hope that you've enjoyed the review. If you liked it, please leave a like, and if not, subscribe. Thank you very much. See you in the next one. Bye bye.